Welcome everybody to the 2023 Kia Telluride. I've already driven the previous version of the Telluride. This has some minor updates but some important ones that make it just that much more desirable. The old one was already extremely capable. It was supremely comfortable and it was a great mile munching tourer. Everything of the strong points of the old one has been retained for the new one, luckily, with some more updates like a better interior and some minor changes to the front. I mean, the old Telluride was now getting into a few years old now, so a minor refresh was definitely on the cards. Let's see how this updated Kia Telluride is. The changes in the 2023 Telluride, some of them are very obvious, some of them not so much, yet they are still important. Some of the changes that are very much prominent are the front looks of this car. The older Telluride had a very distinct identity with the amber DRLs. That has been removed for this 2023 year, and now it just comprises of 4 LED dots, which are the DRLs and the headlights. Initially, I was a bit mixed opinion because I think that that was literally the identity of the Telluride, but I feel like now living with the car and looking at it much more, this looks much more mature and it looks much more up to date with the current design themes of other cars on the road. Other changes are the new grille. It's now got a dark smoke chrome finish end, which is specific to this X-Line variant. The X-Line variants are new for the 2023 model year, so there's X-Line and X-Line Pro. This is the X-Line. These variants are slightly more off-roady because Kia has raised the ground clearance and put in some all-terrain tires, and with those tires they've also put in new wheels. So the X-Line variants get 20-inch wheels, other variants get 18-inch wheels. The bumper design is slightly different and the cladding around is slightly different. Also, what is really noticeable on the exterior, the differences, is this color. This color is all new for the 2023 variant and is available on all the variants. I think it's a very nice color, and it actually hides a lot of grime and dirt because this car is actually very dirty. Might be visible on some parts, but actually on the paint it's not that visible, and I think that's a big bonus in a country like Canada where there's snow, mud, you know, because the snow turns into mud. This car will hide it much better. Other changes are in the inside and on the rear, so let's talk about that in the next bit. Don't change though. The Rolls-Royce Cullinan-esque C-pillar remains, but the new highlights are the new taillights, which are now smoked and got some LED elements to it, and you've got revised bottom cladding with the exhaust still very much similar to the previous, which I think fits into the bumper really well. I have to commend Kia for that because some of the manufacturers integrate the exhaust and it looks like an aftermarket addition to the car. This looks very well cut out and it fits the car really well. You've got some rear parking lights integrated with the bumper as well, and overall it's a very smart looking car. Even today they just had to make minor changes and they've done that. The badging is also now smoke chrome. It's not the usual silver which was there on the previous car, and I think this is special to the X-Line variant, and I think it's a very cool addition. In fact, if it had chrome on this paint, it would really look out of place. It matches the front theme of the grille as well, which is commendable job by Kia in slightly updating the rear without going overboard. Now I'm inside the updated Kia Telluride, and you can notice some familiar things, but you can notice the changes as well. The first change you'll notice instantly is this one very big screen now. It was 2 screens before, now it's 2 12-inch screens, so it makes a nice curved angle as well, and it's actually really good. The integration is nice, the display quality, the resolution of both screens is absolutely amazing. The touch response is top notch. It's got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, not wireless though, it's wired. This speedometer screen is amazing, so it changes the dials when you change the modes. The transition is so smooth and so beautiful. It's actually amazing how Kia has nailed both screens to be so perfect. You've got a very big display here for your temperature as well. You can adjust the fan speed and everything, which is amazing. You've got this nice little grab handle, which is very Porsche Cayenne-esque, which was there in the previous model as well. It's got the heated and the cool seats built into that, and overall this part of the interior is very much similar to the pre-updated car, but again Kia did not have to change it because it was already so good, so functional. You've got a very big storage here which you can put some stuff, a small storage to put your keys, 2 very big cup holders, and a very big storage in here as well to put lots of stuff. It's extremely practical, and there's nothing you could fault on the inside. Something that's very new and keen viewers will notice is the interior color. So now the Telluride has 3 interior options. It's a grey, dark maroonish red, and this tan interior which is called terracotta orange, which I'm personally a big fan of. I am a sucker for any car that has interiors in this color, and Kia has nailed the shade and the quality to the top highest quality, and I appreciate that. The seats themselves look really good. They've got some great patterns and stitching on the backrest and on the bottom part of the seat. You've got X line embedded onto the backrest because this is the X line variant, and again it just feels so premium inside, and it's so practical. It's a very rare combo of an interior that looks really good and works really well as well. Kia has absolutely smashed it out of the park with the way this car functions and looks from the inside. I'm now in the rear seat of the new Telluride, and this has the Captain Chase version, which is I think the best version to have. You've got so much legroom, so much headroom, so much width. Same for this passenger. You've got a nice space in the middle for third row passengers to get in and get out. You have a retractable armrest as well, which is very nice. It's a great place to be. You've got coverage for the window to protect you from the sun. You've got heated and cool seats for the middle row, which is amazing. The buttons are here. You've got the fabulous Harman Kardon audio, which is for the whole car, and it sounds amazing. The clarity of the bass is top notch. The interior shade inside looks very good. You can see the same stitching on the seats, which look absolutely premium. You've got 2 nice cup holders, seat back pockets on both, and you've got Type C charging ports integrated into the seat, which is actually pretty cool. I think the previous Telluride had USB-A. This has Type C, so Kia has moved on with the times, which is pretty cool. You've got dual sunroofs. Sadly, this glass does not open. It's just an electrically retractable blind, which is okay because it lends in quite a lot of light, which is just the perfect amount. And yeah, what can I fault? This car is one of the rare cars where you would not be sure if you would want to drive it or you want to be driven in, because comfort level is almost the same, space is almost the same up front and in the rear. A tough dilemma if I were to choose which seat I would want to sit in this car. Now I'm behind the wheel of the 2023 Kia Telluride, and let's get the numbers out of the way because they're exactly the same how they used to be, which is not a bad thing. This car has a 3.8 litre naturally aspirated V6 which produces about 290 horsepower. It's mated to an 8-speed torque converter gearbox, which is nice and smooth. Move the gear lever into drive, this big gear lever, and you're off. And you notice that this car has immense low end torque. You do not feel any sort of lag since there is no turbocharger, so there is no lag anyways. But because this car is pretty heavy, it's above, I think it tips the weight scales just above 2 tons, so that's pretty heavy if you ask me, but it does not feel that heavy. You have torque from right out of the bottom range all the way to 5,500-6,000 RPM, which post that I feel like it's a bit of a dead spot. But this car is not meant to be driven at those RPMs. Maybe once in a while you'll touch those RPMs because you want to overtake someone on the highway, because this car is a great highway tourer. I mean, I've done almost 1,400 kilometers on a trip recently, and I just covered so many kilometers so effortlessly, and it was such a beautiful experience because the seats are so comfortable. You've got great, lumbar support, seat under thigh support. The backrests are so perfectly aligned, and it soaks the bumps so perfectly, which is what exactly the previous Telluride did. I love the fact that Kia did not toy around with the suspension geometry of this car. As you can see, I'm going over a really patchy road, but I cannot feel anything. Any other car and my spine would have been shattered, but this car it filters nothing to your back, and that's just so commendable. Honestly, it's the best grand tourer car I have driven in a very long time. Keeping in respect with the price this car is at as well, I think it's a fabulous combo. The X line has slightly raised suspension, which you can slightly feel, especially if you're cornering really hard. You do feel that there is a bit more body roll, but again, this SUV is not meant for that. It's not meant to corner hard, drive fast. It's just a relaxed GT car. Cruise at the speed limit all day long, comfortably, just munching the miles. Fill it, shut it, forget it, because you will have to fill it. It's not very fuel efficient. On the highways, this will give you about 10 liters per 100, which is not the best, but because it's such a big naturally aspirated petrol engine, I don't mind. In the city, however, fuel economy goes up much higher. It's about 13.5 to 14 liters per 100, which is steep. Let's be honest about that. But barring that, I feel like there is no downside, because you have torque, power, anytime you need it. Even when the car is fully loaded, you have enough torque to keep it moving, especially when you want to overtake on the highway, which is amazing. Honestly, I've sang praises about how the Telluride drove before in the previous video, and I'll do the same in this, because I cannot fault it. After driving it and living with it for so many days and driving it so many kilometers, I can't fault it. It's too good to be true, and I wish I had the money. I'd buy one right away for my family. In conclusion then, the 2023 Kia Telluride. Well, Kia did not have to change much, because this car still has its core strengths intact. Like the way it rides is fabulous. It's very spacious, it's very comfortable, it's got all the necessary kit and tech that you'd ever need, and I think it looks even better now. At $63,000 Canadian for this X-Line variant, which is not the top variant, there's an X-Line Pro, which is a bit more expensive with a little bit more kit. What else could you need? It still has a very long waiting period, and if you really want your hands on one, you really need to book it as soon as possible, because it could be a while before you get your hands on this car. That's how good it is, and it's always been the case for the Kia Telluride. That speaks volumes on how much Kia has put in with this product, and they are getting the rewards.